It is Friday, February 16th, 2024. And I have been watching the Fani Willis hearing. And the first thing I'll say is that both Nathan and Fani have their lives in order. And one of the biggest concerns I had relative to the relationship was Joycelyn. But it does appear that the three of them are in agreement, and that's all that really matters to me, because it's important that in situations like this that people can walk away from it whole, and it seems to be that is the case in this particular relationship. The reason that I'm making this video is that I am overwhelmed by the arrogance of the legal team and the legal system in general. Scott McAfee has his work cut out for him, but I'm going to trust that he is going to make the right decision relative to application of the law on this particular case, something that we don't see as often as we should. And my bigger concern is this characterization of Fani and her, what is considered her arrogance, as opposed to the arrogance of people who would seek to discredit her capacity to do what is right in terms of holding people accountable by citing almost the exact same types of charges that she is trying to hold Trump and his co-defendants accountable for, and to do so, with such confidence that there's really nothing you can do. We can split hairs and look at the fine details to try to find something to hold you accountable for. But when it comes to the glaring improprieties of the people who we are defending, they're able to move forward with their lives, doing what they do, and continuing to destroy not only other people's lives, but their own lives. So I just want to show a clip that speaks to that, and the one that actually got me so upset because I really just, I expect to see public outrage and accountability if for some reason Fani is disqualified from this particular case. It's one thing to protest and to speak out in meetings and so on and so forth, but the rubber hits the road in the courtroom. And so it will be about holding the court and judges accountable to a standard of following the law. You either follow the law to the letter or you don't, and you cannot allow people to get away with inappropriate behavior based on loopholes. And I've posted, why the judicial system has never been a concern for me in terms of, suing the president, because you cannot use a double standard in the judicial system and ever expect accountability to happen. That is really poor judgment, and it's also horrible parenting. So I just wanted to share this with you and to state that I expect that there be complete outrage and public exposure, so that people can be held legally accountable if that's what needs to be done.
Good afternoon, Ms. Willis. How you doing?
I'm very well. How are you, Mr. McDougall? I think this is our first in-person meeting, correct?
Second.
Second? Well, I apologize for not remembering you more clear.
That's quite all right. I'm referring now to exhibit number 21.
Yes, sir.
which was your financial disclosure form for 2022.
Yes, sir.
And it has a question which requires you to disclose any gifts or favors from a single prohibited source in the aggregate amount of $100 or more. Do you see that?
I don't, but I believe you.
It would be on page 2 in the middle, paragraph number 3.
Yes.
And what is your understanding of a prohibited source for purposes of this form?
I believe there's some classification of somebody you like don't have a personal relationship with that gives you $100.
All right, if you look
somebody
under there
Sorry.
at subparagraph 2, Romanet 2, it defines it as someone that you know or should know is seeking to do or is doing business with the county, correct?
Yes, but yes.
That includes Mr. Wade as of the date you filled out this form, correct?
Yes, but he never gave me a gift of $100 or more. The only thing that I would say maybe went over that, but I don't think it ever did, is if we went to dinner and my meal was $100. But I don't think I've ever eaten $100 worth of food at a restaurant, because I would not pay him back if we went to lunch or went to dinner. But trips, I paid him back for. You know, I never thought about the money until y'all brought it up. And I would be less than honest that says I was giving him the money back because I was the district attorney. I didn't take gifts from him for a lot of personal reasons. Anyway, I did not take gifts from him.
And so your reason for not disclosing any gifts from Mr. Wade on exhibit number 21 is that the aggregate amount on a net basis was less than $100 in the year 2022. Is that correct?
I did not accept a gift of him of more than $100 in 2022. The one exception to that, because I want us to be clear, is we probably went out to eat multiple times in the year. If you're considering eating a meal, because we went out multiple times, that probably went to the level of more than $100. But if we're doing tit for tat like that, I probably paid for as many meals as he paid for. And so I did not receive any gifts from him.
The question on the form,
I understand the
the
question.
aggregate in excess of $100, and your testimony is that you did not
McDougal.
receive in the aggregate more than $100.
All right, Mr. McDougal, you can sit down now.
I don't believe she answered that question, Your Honor. She answered as to specific individual gifts.
And you're not listening to my answer either, so we're done.
Very well.
Okay. Mr. Rice.
No further questions.
Mr. Gillen.
I want you all to appreciate what it must feel like for a grown adult woman to be confronted by adult-sized children who have stagnated developmentally in their social and emotional intelligence, to be held accountable for things that they themselves are doing and have done and gotten away with into their 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, and to have to respond to them when you are trying to hold them accountable, not only for their own good and best interests, but for the good and best interests of everyone involved. And then put into context that level of arrogance. I kept hearing in my head, "Don't you sass me now, Missy. She just got a little too much sass." Well, you know what? I don't know of any mother or grown woman who wants to be disrespected in the way that she has, in the way that I have, especially when there's someone in the way of me being able to hold you accountable for what you know you are doing and are wrong. Just keep all of that in context as you watch the hearings.